Hello, hello, hello. Is this happening? Hello, hello.
Okay, y'all. We may be a minute early, but it's better than being a minute late. So I call this to order.
Good luck.
Yoo-hoo.
That's what I put down.
Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and start if y'all are ready. Then we can, and my goal is to be out of here in 15 minutes. We might not make it. Okay, so let's have a quick moment of silence. Jean, call for quorum.
We have it.
Okay. Do we have an approval for the adoption of the agenda? Any additions corrected? Stand. Approval of the minutes is emailed. Additions, corrections, stand.
There actually was a correction to the minutes, and that was the full report. It was the full report by Kathy Putnam, and it will be in the formal minutes. Nobody else sent a formal report, so what you got is what you got.
Is that an amendment to it? Is that what you're saying?
It's an amendment to what was sent out. There's a few more bullet points in the town report. And otherwise it is identical.
I think we need to have that and approve that amendment.
Okay.
Have you got it?
The only change to what the report was that the Planning and Zoning Commission had recommended approval with provisions of the text amendment to the stormwater ordinance. And that was the only addition.
Okay. Do I have a motion that the amendment to the minutes?
I move that we amend the minutes as Kathy just said.
Approval, everybody?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer, Jean.
Okay, give me just a second here. Okay. The treasurer's report looks a great deal like other treasurer's reports have. I'm still doing what's our current balance report on 3 accounts that are still running. So we have 31,000 in hand total. We have added 806 to that, so our current in hand total is 32,000. 1,247 of that is still called departmental supplies, and $1,846.22 is called, that's the one that's supposed to disappear on us. So we're solvent. Of that, I think about 6,600 actually belongs to Landcare, and pretty much everything else has been collected for Flat Creek Crossing. Okay, so the other piece, do we want to do budget proposal right now, or do we want to do budget proposal a little later?
Go ahead and do it now.
Okay. We have a complicated looking budget proposal. Let me pass those. And the reason for it is that Flat Creek Crossing is a Landcare team. So this budget is partly what was prepared to submit with the Pigeon River grant proposal. So everything below the first green line really is more about, well, and not as the second green line, is about how much we think we will be spending before the end of the fiscal year, or within the next calendar year at least, on actually building pieces of Flat Creek Crossing. If we do not get the Pigeon River grant, then all of that will be hanging on another possible grant. So the part that is strictly Landcare is above the first green line, And we're being asked for some line-by-line detail this year, and this may be more than we're being asked for. But I wanted to let you know that as far as I can tell, we've got about $6,600 that truly is Landcare money for the operation of the committee. And I'm showing last year's results for the native plant sale because we don't have this year's results yet. And I'm showing other expenses that have been actual expenses. And a third line up from the bottom, I'm showing an intention to go ahead with the web rebuild that we know we have needed for several years now. So this gives you an opportunity to look at whatever your programs are. Is there enough money allowed for in this? And then it could be that what I actually submit to the town or that Arrington submits to the town will be a more collapsed version of this. But this gives us an opportunity to look at what the real numbers were and think about it. Are we going to need more brochures to replenish the Kids in the Parks signs, for instance, the little baskets that are up near the nature center, and so forth. So here's an opportunity to think and let Arrington and me know if you think something needs to be different. Not here at all, considerably higher, whatever.
Gina, are you asking that we approve this budget today?
It would be good if we could approve the budget today, but we
Let's
also
give
may need
everybody-
to discuss it a bit first. We are not. Yeah.
That's our dream.
I think we can justify the ask with what I have here, but we generally don't get what we ask for. So, you know, it could be more like 2,500, and then we'll have to think hard about, can we really afford to go ahead with the web rebuild or not?
Okay,
Or are we waiting another year?
y'all, let's take a few minutes and look over this. Okay? And come with any questions.
Well, there is another alternative, and that is that if we got the 2,500 that we got last year, we could pretty much destroy our reserve. That is an option. That's not exactly why we have a reserve, but we could do it. It's showing over here.
I see. I see.
To my knowledge, the town has not taken that on. Landcare produced them. It's a little unclear. Yeah, sure. Maybe we could do a fudge motion where we approve the work that's done so far and allow for some minor updates.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Those? Okay, we will get on this then, Jenny. Okay, Town of Monterey,
Oh, let me
Kathy.
bring up my notes.
This is from the last town meeting, March 14th. During the pre-meeting public forum, Mayor Helms had asked audience members about their thoughts of having an honorary designation of Assembly Drive as Billy Graham Way. An online survey was provided for Montreat residents after the meeting, and from the results of that, it was decided that there would not be the special designation of Assembly Drive. The council noted the town's 9th consecutive designation of Montreat as Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation. The council approved our committee's $34,065 grant application to the Pigeon River Fund for Phase 3 of the Flat Creek Crossing project. approve that to be submitted. The Win Lithia Springs Beautification Project received approval from the council, so those Montreat residents will be able to move forward with that project. Commissioners heard Jim Williamson's presentation regarding a ban on gas-powered blowers in Montreat, and the committee's, our committee's recommendation for further review and study about that action. The council took it under advisement. The council approved a text amendment to the town's stormwater ordinance, and that change will allow for a reduction in the surface water buffer or an exception from the built-upon area requirement for a driveway, bridge, or utilities easement, or a utility crossing to a residence if no other option for access is feasible or practicable. And then finally, Montreat resident George Sawyer was appointed to a 3-year term on the Board of Adjustment. So I think that board is fully populated now.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, MRA, Arthur Todd. Thank you, Martha Todd. Montreat College, Dottie. Dottie, what's happening to Josh? We don't ever see Josh anymore. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, all right. Cottages, Beth. Is it? Might not be.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think, there we go. I'm sorry. So Dottie, I owe you, and I'll pass it maybe to Jean to pass out, but it was all of our thought process that we presented to the cottagers last summer, and it's a pretty thorough report. Richard DeBose of MRA has gone to the executive committee and the board, and they have given it back to the cottagers to approach for a vote in July. With the cottagers meeting is July 20th. And so we will get a vote then. We hope, and this is the reason I'm bringing it to everybody here. Like things in Montreat, information is hard to get out. When there's not a clean bit of information out, it's usually because of lack of understanding. My committee, the Wilderness and Open Space Committee, met yesterday. We are going to have 2 educational meetings before that July 20th vote, so that nobody feels like we are ramrodding anything. It's certainly, there are a lot of things that could be misinterpreted, and we want to make sure that it's not. I come to this group and I don't have dates yet, I don't have anything. We just met late yesterday afternoon. I would love for you, and if I need to, maybe in the next meeting or the following meeting, I'd love for you to understand all of the dynamics of it. I'd like to spend some time and have you be advocates in the community so that you understand it fully, because the last thing in the world this community needs is another divisive issue. And the people that have come to me with questions like, well, why are you giving this away? We're not giving this away. When to the person that have questioned me about this, when they got the information, they were going, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So that is the kind of conversation that we want to have. We're going to have 2 separate meetings in probably June, July, maybe one around the 4th of July, open to the community. And it is for the purpose of educating before the vote comes on July 20th. So I ask of you, for the mental health of our community, please take opportunity to understand. I'm not saying support us necessarily, that's not fair, but my gut is that if you understand the reasoning and the thought process and the depth that we have worked for 2 years on studying the issue, and we've worked hard for two years easily. When you understand it, I think you will be able to decide a good decision with us. But MRA made sense, and I was a little concerned that I hadn't thought of it this way, but they said, why should they accept it because we recommend that they take it? Why should they? And then we have to go to the cottagers, and it says it's kind of backwards, that we need to go to the cottagers first, get approval from the whole cottagers body first, then offer, and then the likelihood, if it is a clean offer, the likelihood would be that MRA would accept it under the care. So it's just the deed. Reminders, it is protected. It cannot, will not change purposes. MRA is already taking care of it with trail maintenance. Thank you, Martha Todd and all your crew there. They already, all it is a transfer of deed. And since, the MRA already has land in the conservation easement, it kind of makes sense to put that together, even though Rocky Knob is not contiguous with the Montreat property, but it's still, there's a lot of logic. And the committee, not me, but the committee has really done a super deep dive into what's best for the preservation of this land for the purpose of wilderness and recreation. And it will be that way regardless. So anyway, I ask of you to kind of have that on your radar. I would love for you to be some of the beacons of knowledge as we go into the community. And not today, but I will at some point do my best to get you guys educated on that.
You dropped, what was your last sentence? You do your best
To get you guys educated so that you know and can understand all the dynamics going into it. Because like everything in Montreat, there are dynamics.
So Beth, would you want to do that next in May? Should I put it
Yeah.
unfinished business?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then I've got it here.
Okay, good.
Unfinished business for you.
So I will do my best. I've got a lot of work between now and then to kind of get things rocking and rolling. But anyway, I just think the better educated the community is, and I would love to lean on you guys, this committee, to be educated about everything. So it'll be a little bit of a discussion because it's, we've worked at it for 2 years. So
What was my next question? Could you write this up for us? I'm so visual.
I know.
I'm such a visual person. Hearing it, sometimes I don't get it as well as I do when I've got it in front of me.
What are you asking me to write up? What I just said, or the dynamics that I will be presenting next time.
The dynamics of what you'll be presenting next time,
Ooh.
or whatever it is you want us
okay.
to consider,
Okay,
because the
okay,
motion may come out of this.
okay, yeah. I don't know that, I'm not sure a motion needs to come out of it. I do think I would like for you to be educated. It's my whole goal is to have you really have a working knowledge, of, so if somebody comes to you and goes, what are they thinking? You'll have the dynamics of it. You'll have why this seems to make sense to this committee. And we explored a lot of things, including just keeping it. So that is probably what you're asking for. The dynamics is probably what I will send, what I promised Dottie for 2 months to send. And it's the discussion last July. It was like a 2-page, very thorough committee report. I think that is probably what you all need. So if I send it to you, will you send it out to everyone?
Sure,
on the-
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
we
to the
can-
minutes or both? I'll send it
Yeah, we
both
can
of you.
make it part of the minutes. We don't have
Okay.
to have the whole 2 pages read again to do that, I
Okay.
don't think.
But-
That's legit, guys.
Yeah, and that is going to be the foundation of the education. So y'all get it ahead of time. And again, all I want is not any action on your part. So I don't think a motion is going to be needed. But I do hope that I can use your ear so that you fully understand why we're not just giving this away. It's not. It is just putting it, the bottom line that we came up with, it's putting it in a place, the deed in a place that I think has more stability and more consistent with the purpose of the MRA wilderness than a cottage owners. That's not part of the cottage owners. That's, I mean, think of a homeowners type association. That's not what the cottages is, but it's to own land is more consistent with the MRA mission than it is with the cottage owners. And I think the stability long-term is good there. We looked future. So there are a lot of things that we really have thought through. We've looked at all kinds of options, and MRA is the one that bubbled to the top. And I also, one of the things that may pop up because of history, and I'll start with today and plant a little seed in there, but one of the concerns that MRA has is that they do not want to appear to anyone in the community that they're trying to go after this land. It is not their initiative. It is the cottagers committee that we are trying to see if they will be gracious enough to take it. So, and I do mean take it. We've explored finances, and no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to pass it over, and et cetera. So we'll get into the finances if we need to, but MRA does not want to appear as an organization that's begging for this land. They will kind of reluctantly take it if we feel like it's best. And so it's more responsibility for them. So, okay, enough. Sorry, I'm getting into next month.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Beth. We look forward to that.
I have a comment on that.
Yeah,
I think what you're asking for by way of understanding and communication is it's what Landcare was intended to do and to be. And sometimes I get concerned that things that we discuss in here and decide in here within this body, they don't get out as well as they should to the community. And we have to really work at making Bearwise and Firewise and so forth known. And MRA and the college have both been very helpful in getting those things out. So I think what you're asking for is completely legitimate. It is
Good.
why we exist.
good. So, and then too, one other thought is I just am going to try my best to over communicate this issue, again, for the sole purpose of we do not need any more division in this community. But what would be getting on July 20th is cottagers' permission to offer it to MRA and the board. So it is still not going to be definite, even if the cottagers say, go for it. If that's the case, it will stay with the cottagers. So we've gotten that far along in the decision process. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay, Earth Ministry, George?
Actually, a very appropriate follow-up to what we've just been listening to. This afternoon at 4 o'clock up in Walk-Up Building, we're going to have as our guest speaker Hani Maruder, who is the director of the Southern Appalachian Highlands Conservancy, and she's going to be talking about conservancy in this part of the world. So
4 o'clock.
couldn't be better timing. 4 o'clock. Come 10 or 15 minutes early and get a cup of coffee and some goodies.
Where is this going to be, George?
The Walk-Up Building this afternoon, 4 o'clock.
Is that right in front of the William Brown or the lodge?
No. The Walk-Up Building is the old store.
Oh,
Those of
okay.
you who've been around for a few years. I don't know how else better to describe it. It's the end of the parking lot.
Okay.
Good.
It's across the parking lot from the auditorium parking. So you just cross that street, you got it.
Yep.
Little small building. So it's between a playground, walk up, auditorium.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Quickly, I'm going to get back to you, Betty. I'm not forgetting you. Bill Seaman has the one-line report. Updated email was sent to Montreat Certified Wildlife backyard homeowners with information about springtime gardening ideas and resources. You'll report more on Flat Creek next month. Okay, plant sale, Betty Douglas. We're ready. I got my notes.
Pretty sure you've got your
I
mic
got my
on.
notes. I'm ready.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, this is just a quick update to let y'all know the plant sale is in approximately 5 weeks. And pretty much everything is in place or going to be in place by the end of this 7-day period that's coming up. We've got, Beth and I met yesterday, and we're meeting again next Tuesday to make sure we've got it all done. So I'm gonna give you a little rundown of where we are and what we're doing. I've already put it in the community announcements and the town minute it's going out on Friday, and so those announcements are going to run now until the sale comes. We're also going to put it in the Asheville community, things going on out on Explore Asheville. So that'll be coming out, but they kind of like it to be a couple weeks out. They don't put it in too long, it starts to March. And I'm finishing up with my daughter-in-law because y'all asked the wrong person if you need a computer savvy soul to do this. She's helping me finish our poster with a new QR code to take us to the event on the Landcare site, and those will go up in Black Mountain and Montreat over the weekend this weekend. And then I'll have an electronic copy that Jean helps me send it to her, that she'll get it loaded onto the website.
Can you put that in the Asheville paper too?
I don't know, I think you have to pay.
Yeah, you do.
That electronic file. And sometimes it's pretty pricey. Let me see. I think truthfully, Explore Asheville, which doesn't charge you, is as good a spot to have.
But can you put the Q scan or whatever it is in there?
In the Asheville paper?
No, in the Explore Asheville.
That will load this digital file that has the poster with just sort of a little bit of writing on it, and then people can look at the QR code because there is a lot more here.
Okay.
So we'll try that QR code is helpful, but again, I need my master's engineer daughter-in-law and my aerospace son to help us figure this out. So anyway, there we are. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be getting volunteers to sign on the dotted line. We need volunteers that we use for 2 shifts on the day of the sale. And also, I've already got a few people lined up for our setup, which I'll mention in a minute. At the end of the week, I'll have to Tracy Bailey and a list of all the setup supplies that we need: tables, chairs, audio-visual, that kind of stuff. I must say that Beth and I have had a few sleepless nights over this because it has been a lot like trying to pull a child's teeth that doesn't want you to touch them. To get particularly the plant vendors to come. We have wonderful exhibitors. The Hemlock Association's coming. We're pretty sure the Chestnut restoration committee is coming. If they don't come, our plan B is they will send us the digital file of their, the video they put together, and we will set up a time and show that underneath the Moore Center, so that we'll at least have their representation of them there on that day. We have lots of informational exhibits, as I said. The excuses or the reasons that our plant vendors aren't coming are all kind and understandable. It's not, there's not been any, enjoy the monitoring. They actually say it's one of their favorite places to come, but the land has shifted in the last 10 years. There are more opportunities for them to do this, and one-off events don't appeal the same way of markets that are open week in and week out, where people can be assured the foot traffic. That's out of our control. I have added, I've got a number of things that I'll send to Jean this week, because I have to get the website changes. Even if I see something that I think I can just change a moment, I don't get to do that. I send it to Jean, and she sends it to Jeff, and Jeff has his own issues, so we'll get to do that. It takes a while for some of that to get updated. It's a process when you've got a web manager. One consideration that Beth and I have come up with, and I hope y'all are okay with this, is down the road, this event is at least going to need some reimagining if it's going to continue. So one thing we're going to do this year is we are going to have a little party down the middle of the field, starting at noon, and some of the things that we offer in the hospitality room, like sandwiches and cookies, we'll have, and we're going to get a couple of our exhibitors to give a 5-minute presentation. Hopefully at that point, Ed Kramer, they're taking a walk on the treasured trees from 10 to 2. And I haven't talked to Ed about this, because I just sent me this stuff last night.
I was at tree board last week, and we argued strongly against having that 10 to 2 walk. Because
I got last night because I got it at 9, and I thought, I told him when he asked me, I said, let's don't pull people from the
exactly, that was my point to tree board.
And that's what he has got. He sent me the posters done last night with the 10 to 2.
I'll talk to Ed.
Because what I'd love to do is have him do it 12:30 or even at 1 o'clock.
Have it from 2 to 4.
Well, that's what I suggested.
Yes.
I'm just going
You just,
I'm not glad to hear that.
I'll talk to Ed.
Last night I read it and I went, oh, that was the only thing I said is don't do it in the middle of the sale.
That's, no,
But anyway, so what I want to do is I'm hoping that he'll be able to tell people what it is. This little tea party, Beth has done this at the farmer's market, and kind of had people sit down and then had some of the vendors come and just say, this is what I do. So I was thinking, oh, this is why we're interested in the trees in my tree. This is maybe why we might get to see if I can talk Katie Bidmer into doing a little bit of her berry garden demonstration just to talk about it. And we're just going to do it on a small scale this year, but it could be that this thing could morph to a spring. Yes. It might be a way to reimagine it. That's what we're kind of thinking. And since Beth has all the china and I have all the teapots, and she's done it at the farmer's market to great success, we thought we would add that little piece, because we are not going to have enough vendors to go down the middle of the field, and it'll make it feel more festive and a little bit more thoughtful and a little bit more communal. So that's
brilliant. Good idea.
Okay, that's best, I think. So
And what time is that going to be? 12?
well, that let us talk, but that was just something we came up at our meeting yesterday as we drank 3 cups of tea trying to figure out. Okay, so I will, that'll, but this next 7 days is our kind of talking every day and getting that set up.
Okay.
Approximately 2 weeks before the event, and that will include all the entities tied to Landcare. Everybody will get an email that we designed yesterday that tells them the specifics of what you need to bring, when you need to be there, what help will be there for your setup, what's available on the day of the sale as far as volunteers and food and hospitality room. Just sort of here's what you need to know if you're an exhibitor or a vendor. And we'll do that about 2 weeks ahead. We've got that letter drafted. If you all, for your information, and I've got it down here, our plan is to set up, anybody who wants to set up early, 3 to 5 on Saturday. We moved it from 4 to 6 because graduation is happening, and we thought we ought to stay out of the way of what's going on. Some people want dinner or something that night, so 3 to 5 on Friday. Yes.
Friday, you said Saturday.
We will be on the field, and we'll have a number of hands that could help. The party does not like us to put the tables out until the next meeting.
Who?
It's not ready, it's not ready.
Wow.
Well, where is it? That's been another sleepless night issue.
So then why can't we put the tables out?
And they're MRTA's tables, they don't love them to get dew on them at night, you know, if it were to rain overnight. I think because we put the tents up.
Right.
It was gonna rain overnight, and we thought out of under the tent, the ground would be dry under the tents.
And they wouldn't get wet.
Walk out in the mud, and it was pouring pretty hard at 8 a.m. the next morning. Just another thing else. But anyway, I think if you have a tent, we talk to the Montreat police, some of our vendors, we don't encourage it, they ask if they can deliver their stuff early. And Montreat's not, you know, people aren't gonna make off to steal plants and plant in your yard dark at night. But
We're not.
it's appealing to me, I should say. And then at 8 a.m. we'll have a group there set up.
Now, Betty, let me interrupt you. Okay, I've got Landcare volunteers for Friday afternoon. I don't have them for Saturday morning.
All you need is people to staff your table.
I got that. We're done.
We have, but I do, the setup, you know, pretty much, we just help with the hospitality room and the tables and chairs.
Right.
MRA just delivers them in a heap, and we've got to get that all set up. And we'll have with our tea party, we'll look it up, you know.
So the volunteers have to help set up the tables.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Are you gonna have some? There's, let me tell you what's so great about the students, because all of us like to think we're still middle aged, but if you look at the statistics, all the last 20 years of our lives, including you.
That was 20, 30
and
years
all
ago.
of us have Carrying something like this, right now, we're about 2 months old. So the last thing we want is someone thinking at age 80 they can carry a table, and then we end up with an ambulance on the field that just ruins the vibe.
I had planned to do that.
So if the college students are helping with the tables more, that they were so helpful last year, that would be great. I would say if we have 6, more would work. 6 is great. Because I get that. My last thing is to say we would pray for good weather, but that is not in our jurisdiction. And we do have, someone had told me we weren't getting, but we have the Moore Center underneath. And it's sort of our flex space this year, because we may, if it rains, we might need a little tea party part inside. If the Chestnut Foundation doesn't come and do us a table there, we'll have their digital file and schedule one showing of what they've been doing with this restoration project in there. But, you know, again, this event for all the sleepless nights and the sort of obstacles we felt, it's a great event because it brings together all the entities that make this valley special, from the college and the MRA and the cottagers. It's just such a nice thing. And so I do, going forward, and we'll talk about this when it's over, I do think some reimagination is going to need to happen, because even, I mean, I rode to Woodford yesterday. I heard of another nursery, we're and I'm the one thinking, if I go and either shed a tear or two, nothing has worked very well. I feel like actually really back, that's still my way about that one, and she's excited about it. So coming back is good. So anyway, that's where we are. We'll, you know, we're going to be busy. If you notice pitches on the website, there's a little lag to getting it up there, and then if there's something that doesn't do quite right, we have to get back in there. Jeff's situation is different from father inordinately much. So that's kind of where we are. Any other questions y'all have about this?
Thank you so much. This is going to be great, and it's not going to rain.
And after May 4th, I can sleep again.
That's yeah, absolutely. So can I. That'll be great. Okay, moving on. Firewise, Nancy's done, is not here. Fundraising, Jim's not here. Hemlock. Miss Leahy is here.
Thanks. So I shared a little bit at the, tree board.
Yeah, tree board.
But, I guess just to fill you guys in, Montreat College continues to collaborate with HRI, and I think you guys are somewhat familiar with them. They partner with private landowners and towns and whoever else to basically save the hemlocks. So the hemlock really does continue to be a problem in western North Carolina. The two things that they've found most effective, and those things completely effective, are chemical treatments and also the layer use fields, which you guys may be familiar with. they don't get every generation of the hemlock lily belted, unfortunately. So they kind of do like half the job. But anyway, we're like, okay, our coach people are here. HRI said, we need to go to the next step. We need to look at individual trees and see how they're doing year by year. Okay. So last year was the first year that we assessed for the block tree health. So basically, we picked out different spots of trees and looked at them, to see how much lily belly was on them, how many weevils were on the trees, if there were any other stressors, like, English type stressor, instead of cauliflower, elongated the box field, which also stresses the tree out, but it doesn't impact the tree as negatively as the block. So anyway, we gathered data on a bunch of trees, and this year we did it again. So just like we did it again and looked at those same trees, and all of them were doing like pretty the same since last year. There was one right in front of Gateway Chapel that was noticeably worse. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and we're probably going to treat that one because we want to see that. It's in a nice place. We assessed both the eastern and Carolina hemlock species. There aren't any Carolina hemlock species in the area, but a lot of them. So let's see. We also did the monitoring this year too, just well, just the whole year, and they were actually filming. So those are still hanging around. HRI said that they would suggest to you guys, to Landcare, if you guys have like specific Carolina or Eastern hemlock trees that you want us to in here, we're going to make sure they stay here forever, as long as possible. Treasure trees for those. That maybe those can be watched carefully, and if they do start to decline, applying that chemical, that insecticide, there are two different specific types. There's a HRI is certified and licensed in like applying that chemical. So I would suggest before you just go and buy chemicals, they have special chemicals. And they might be like, oh yeah, this one you should probably apply with the clip red, or maybe this one you should do that. They might have
I have a question. What you were mentioning, if there are any hemlocks that Landcare knows that they want saved. Has there been a tree survey done for the town of Montreat that the town knows where specific trees are, where perhaps there's a stand of hemlocks that would need to be looked after?
Yes and no. There was surveying along a couple of major routes in Montreat, maybe 3 years back, and that survey plan is responsible still for the trees that are being taken down on purpose instead of they fell down. It was to assess trees that were possibly going to cause a danger to the town if they fell or dropped their limbs or took out a power line. There was not an extensive survey off of those major rights of way. And the funding to do that survey, the last I heard, was not going to be renewed until the town had dealt with the list of trees that were identified in the first survey.
Yeah.
And there has not been a survey to identify specifically hemlocks, to my knowledge, on or off the rights of way.
Okay. Okay, any further questions for Abby? Thank you. Okay,
Abby, do you have notes that you could slip me electronically?
Yeah, I can pass this.
Just a little outline even. Yeah, thanks.
Black Creek Crossing.
Okay. We have made ourselves nuts with the grant proposal process. From the Pigeon River Fund, well, okay, you may or may not already know that we did not get the Black Mountain Swannanoa Valley $10,000 request. We did get a chance to follow up with the program officer, and the program officer told us that the committee really, really struggled over our application, particularly our application. They tend toward human services support, and ultimately, she said their decision was $10,000 on a $300-something thousand project was not going to end the project, and they just didn't have enough money to get there. But it sounds like they wanted to. We didn't get it. Okay, we had already told Pigeon River Fund that if they would give us $34,065, that we would be able to proceed with reshaping the bank above the path to the water and reshaping the bank below the path to the water, which we're calling phases 2 and phases 3. It would put us out of money and limit our ability to match for future grants until we collect some more money, but that we could do it. We had a site visit scheduled with the Pigeon River Fund people, which was very encouraging. We were asked for more information about our committee members, which was very encouraging. The site visit has been unscheduled due to conflicts with the review committee. It may or may not reappear before they make their decision. Where we think we might get it. If we do or don't get it, we've decided it's time to look hard at what's next. And we had concluded that we didn't really have enough of the pieces that were needed to go after an accessible parks grant. We're rethinking that. We won't go in as strong as a big organization that's doing a big park because they accumulate points and we just won't be able to get to the maximum number of points on a number of areas. But we're talking with the resource person, and the resource person is telling us, yeah, well, you can't get it if you don't apply, and you've talked to me, and that adds, just the points aren't everything. So we are concluding that if the town is able to help fill in one missing piece, not the ideal way to do it, but to do it, to fill that little gap in the application, that we think we'll spend the next 3 weeks writing like crazy and go after the grant. It's a 20% match, and the other grants that are out there in theory available to us, we know they have lots of applicants, and we know that the matches are way worse than 20%. So I think we're going to go for it, and we're probably going to write it as if we don't have the Pigeon River Fund, because we don't know we're going to get that, and we won't know in time. So that's where we stand. And if you have not looked at the site recently, right inside the gate on the right-hand side, you should go look. George has been doing amazing work clearing it. And there's one other bit of very good news. The town originally said, yes, you may build this on town land, but we're not paying for it and we're not maintaining it. That's shifting a little bit. It would help us in the points to be able to say that professional town staff would be responsible for the appropriate level of maintenance afterward. And I think we kind of have permission to say that now. So
Great.
there's been some town
Huge
help. They've
thing.
certainly picked up debris. They're doing a little bit of selective tree removal of invasive trees. So you should
burying them.
So we're not making a real big public
Bury 'em,
announcement
boys.
of that, but they have been very helpful. And I think the town really wants this to happen as much as the little committee working on it does. So that's it.
Okay, great. We're making some progress. Okay, Bearwise. Betty, I want to use, Landcare has got, Bearwise has got volunteers for Saturday. We've got volunteers to help set up. I've got this huge box that just came in from Ashley Hobbs about, we have got Bearwise information to last for the next 10 years. Okay, I'm not gonna bring Fred, because Fred has gotten heavier than he was 3 years ago. For some reason, I can't lift him anymore. So I'm gonna go to Green Tea. Are y'all familiar with Green Tea? The restaurant at the golf course? they've got bears standing outside the door. And you just pull them up out of the ground.
Wait, they have what?
Yeah.
They have what?
I mean, they're there. So the next time, I think Bob and I are going to go eat there on Sunday, and I'm going to ask them if we may borrow a bear instead of Fred. Huh? A what one? How heavy is he? Cute. We may need him. And then I've ordered, the town has ordered for me a standing bear wise sign thing. We probably need to tie to the thing, to the tent pole. And other than the fact that the bears are all over everywhere, I don't have anything else to say. Thank you. Okay, kids in the park, do you have anything for that?
No report, but it's nice to have it on the agenda because it may affect the budget.
Is any unfinished business? Okay, under new business, I have asked Bill Seaman to chair a nominating committee. It's coming up, and I don't like things at the last minute. I don't like last minute pressure on people. So I don't know when Bill's going to start working, but at least I've done my job as getting a chair. So he'll be, probably your phones will be ringing. Just wanted to let you know. No? No? That you know?
I think this woman's looking forward to a much deserved rest.
All right, is it any other new business? All right, the next meeting is May 1st, Wednesday. And if there's no other questions, business, we adjourn. Landcare's rolling, y'all. Landcare rolls.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Abby. We could get a meeting done.
Okay. Evenings and weekends, yeah. Yeah, he's ready. Okay.
I did kind of look into, my daughter wants it's better for us just to get a new QR code,
It is, yeah.
And so she's gonna help me, we have an appointment with each other at 12 o'clock.
Okay,
So
great.
We'll finish up that poster and get that, and then that electronic file, several places. Last year, I thought we put it, just temporarily, when you went to the Landcare page, that one copy of that, because your poster was there, that the people went to Landcare, they didn't have to know it was an event. Now, I put find it in events on Landcare, on there, but it made it easier for people. If they found the Landcare website, Laundry Landcare, they could go straight to that information. I don't know. But if they also.
Well, the QR code should take you straight to the event.
But I'm saying, let's just say somebody opened up Laundry Landcare and didn't know about it.
There is a slider now that has the Go Native photo, and it links to the event. So if you notice that.
I'm sorry, I'm not the worst person you could ever have, but.
You know what? I tried really hard years ago to learn stuff, and it is so far beyond me now.
And I've really tried, because we've been taught math for years, and everybody else had all their tests on the computer, but math is hard to type math problems unless they get you a good program. Because it's hard to write and do the signs, but if you have algebra problems and stuff, I think I never could find it, my parentheses and my school hard. It's like, I'm just doing it. Because I'm already up till midnight every time. But when you try to type it, it's really hard to type math problems unless you have a good program that does that. Oh, no, mine's not bad at all. I do have a house, I still have to see us. I'm feeling like I said, it's just called. Yeah, well, and they live there, just they live there, they treat my daughter like she is there, and I mean, her children like that, and their grandchildren there. But I need to roll out the money, but. I love this guy. So you slow speak the letter of it. That people can marry and move in and have to figure out how to with their own needs that need the relationship with you. It's interesting. Anyway, so we're gonna roll out the country red carpet hopefully. And I'm thinking at some point the conversation will come up between the four of us. Thank you.
Okay, all right, and you're gonna send me that, the two-page report? And I didn't see anyone objecting. The minutes will go out farther than and I will try to get through the minutes. No, I need to go home and eat breakfast because I was cooking breakfast this morning. He keeps thinking this movie is it's Christmas. Yeah. So I have to go home and eat breakfast. Then, it's really have more. I mean, I'm going to eat the church. Well, I'm going to the grocery store. Let's just see if we can find a way today. What do you think about doing the collapse? Well, I should ask Rachel or somebody. When we